Somebody said, how to stop stalking my ex's socials. It's been a year. It's hard. It's so hard. This is hard, okay? Obviously, I mentioned earlier that I now don't have social media on my phone, and I only have it on a phone that I keep in a drawer locked away unless I need it. That has been the most impactful thing for me when it's come to stalking anyone, exes, anyone that you shouldn't be stalking. It's easy to stop stalking them if you just don't have social media on your phone. So obviously that's my first piece of advice is give yourself a social media cleanse. Delete the app for a month. You know, that's going to be the most impactful option, and it will work and it will help break the cycle. However, I understand that not everyone wants to do that. Although now that I think about it, I don't really know any other way. Like when it comes to breaking toxic social media cycles, the only way that's ever worked for me and stuck is deleting it off of my phone for a prolonged period of time, at minimum a month, because that breaks the cycle. It's important to break the cycle. And when it's in your pocket, anytime you have a little tinge of curiosity about who your ex is following or what your ex is posting, you can just go look. But if it's not in your pocket because it's not on your phone, you'll have the little desire, you'll have the little piece of curiosity, but then you end up having to distract yourself by doing something else because it's not right there in your pocket. The only way that's ever worked for me is that, because it's just too convenient and it's just too right there. And I think why social media is so toxic in breakups is because it gives us a false sense of connection with our ex that we're so used to having because we used to be dating them, right? Like our connection to our ex was a foundational piece of our lives for a period of time. It built up a piece of our foundation, and it's very scary to lose that connection. And so a lot of times what we subconsciously do is that we stalk our exes ad nauseum because subconsciously that makes us feel like we're still connected to them. So it makes us feel more secure, and it makes us feel like our foundation is still intact. But the problem is that prevents us from fully healing and fully rebuilding our foundation and patching up the pieces of our foundation that at once was our ex, right? We can't patch up that missing piece of our foundation if we're pretending to fix it all the time by maintaining connection through stalking on social media. My biggest piece of advice is take a month off Instagram, delete the app. I'm not kidding. I really believe that this can break any cycle. And listen, when you go back on eventually, are you still going to stalk them sometimes? Yes. Like every once in a while, I go and check up on all of my boyfriends that I've ever had, all of them. I check up on guys I've hooked up with even like once. Like I hooked up with one guy once. I'm like, what is he doing? I don't even care, but it's just fun, you know? Like what are they up to? It's very human and natural. But when it's a new, fresh ex, by fresh, I mean like a year or less, it's still such a deep cut that it's very hard to create healthy boundaries without like fully deleting the app for a month or two. That's my opinion. I don't know. That's the only way to do it. And my God, does it feel good to not like to set yourself free from what they're up to. It's such a relief. But I also think that you should be a bit more forgiving of yourself when it comes to stalking your ex, because I'm so sorry. We all do it. All of us. Every single one of us. We all do it. And it's human. And so I think to an extent, you can't be angry at yourself for stalking every once in a while. You just need to make sure that you're not overdoing it. Like if you're checking up on their social media every day, it's time to delete the app from the phone for a month and then come back and then only check up once a week. And then eventually you start dating somebody else and you're like, oh, okay. And then maybe you only check every 2 weeks. And then eventually you don't check at all. Or, well, you'll probably check forever. Like I feel like I'll be 50 years old and like checking up on what my second boyfriend was doing. You know what I mean? Like it's fun and it's human, but you get what I'm saying.